Okay, it was great to close out the non-conference part of the schedule with another win. Ideally, when you come out of non-conference play, you want to be 3-0, which is where we're able to be, what we were able to accomplish. In the Fresno game, a lot of positives, a few negatives as always, give and take like most weeks. The big thing is I thought our special teams came alive and really did some good things, although there were a few negative spots in the special teams. It was by far mostly positive. And so the kickoff return by Corey Butler, who, by the way, was named Pac-12 Special Teams Player of the Week, so that's 3 weeks in a row we've had one of our players honored by the conference, which is great to see. Britton Covey's punt return. Tom Hackett did a nice job punting, although he only had to punt a couple times in that game. And Andy Phillips was perfect on his PATs and field goals. And the two negatives in the special teams were obviously fumbling the opening kickoff, and then allowing the onside kick to be recovered late in the game. But otherwise, finally we started to see some real signs of momentum type changing plays in special teams. Overall, the negative of the game was our getting sloppy defensively in the fourth quarter. We gave up 21 fourth quarter points, which is ridiculous, and so that was really the big negative. As we had the game well in hand, and then with about 10 or 12 minutes to go in the game, we decided to back off a little bit, which was disappointing to see. But otherwise, it's on to Oregon. Big challenge for our football team, big opportunity for our football team. A tough road trip. Otson's always a tough place to play, and Oregon is loaded with talent, just like they are every year, and so we'll need to be at our best this week to when we go on that trip. Questions?
You mentioned after the Utah State game that run blocking was an area of concern. Going into Pac-12 play, do you feel like there's been progress made in that area?
Yeah, without a doubt. We came away with 220-plus rushing yards, I think, on Saturday night, and so still a work in progress, but we've definitely made strides throughout the first 3 weeks, and as long as we continue on that upward trend, I think we'll be okay.
What was your evaluation of Kendall Thompson, and is he going into this week as the starter again?
Well, Kendall did some good things, some not so good things. We turned the ball over in the red zone. We had a fumble, and really, first time of the year, we lost the turnover battle, 3-2. So that was some of the downside. But he kept his poise. He made good decisions for the most part, and didn't really get rattled. After the interception, he's able to bounce back and put it behind him. And so going forward, we still don't know what the situation is going to be. We'll have to take a look at Travis in practice, and maybe not have a decision until Wednesday or Thursday as to which direction we're going to go.
Kyle, after the game, you had talked about wanting to get more chunk yardage. Is that an effect of the quarterbacks, the receivers not getting open, or just play designs with Fresno State? Kind of tell us a little bit what the play is.
Well, I think it's all the above, and the chunk yardage. It's tough to sustain 9, 10, 11, 12 play drives consistently without getting some big yards in that drive, big chunks at a time. It's hard to go, 4 yards, 6 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards. It's just hard to do. And so you need to be able to be explosive with your offense and be able to get those big gains. And, typically they come in the throw game, not always. Running back is capable of ripping off a 30 or 40-yard run on occasion. But what our problem is right now, not our problem, but what needs to improve is getting big plays out of the wide receivers. And it's a combination of everything you mentioned, maybe dialing up a few more of those opportunities. And when those opportunities are dialed up, go ahead and try to get the chunk yards, throw the ball down the field. Because just because you have a deep ball called doesn't mean that that's how it's going to end up. If you go through your read progression and that's not there, so wide receivers getting open, a little more often also plays into that. Although Kenneth Scott, he's got a knack, even when the guy's got him in coverage, he's great with a contested ball. And so even when Kenneth is covered, you can throw it to him and good things will happen more so than not. Either draw a pass interference or come away with a football. And so So we got to just trust that he's going to make those plays and do a better job of giving him opportunities to make those plays.
Everybody wants to beat Oregon. They've kind of been a powerhouse for years. But considering the game last year where there was a big 14-point swing and you played them really close up until that point, is there a little more momentum going into this game for you guys trying to say, yeah, we can hang with the likes of Oregon and can play them similar to how we did against them at home before they took that over?
I think our team gained confidence last year, going 9-4 and winning some really big in-conference games. Gave our guys the mindset that if we play like we're capable of, we'll be in just about every football game that we play. And so I think that I don't know if that gives us any momentum from last year, the game, but just the mindset that if we come out and play our best football, then we're going to be right there.
We've seen more reps, I would say, from Seni Fanuku than we did last year. Maybe what has he done in your eyes to earn maybe more a role in that rotation?
Well, it starts in practice. He's done a great job in practice, doing things the right way, technique-wise, fundamentally, very few mental mistakes. He's a senior now. He's been in our program for quite a few years, and he's probably been our most consistent front guy through 3 games. And when you play, you earn more reps. That's just the way it works. When you play well, you earn more reps, and he's played well not only in practice but in games. And we're blessed with all those defensive linemen. We got 5 of them that we really like, and so it's there's not much drop off regardless of who's in there. But Seni has done a really nice job of really locking in this year and playing his technique, and that really was probably the main thing that kept him off the field in years past. There was a little bit of maybe freelancing that would creep in and not doing things exactly how we wanted them done. Not to say he was undisciplined, but he's really taken a big step forward this year, doing things right all the time.
Along that same line of questioning, Butler Bird over there got loose on that kick return, showing some good stuff in the open field. Is there any thought, like you guys had in fall camp, him playing on the offensive side of the football, is there any thought to getting him some offensive snaps?
Sure is, and we're looking at all possibilities, and you may see that at some point this season. In fact, I can say you will see that at some point this season. It's just a matter of Corey settling into that defensive role first, his first time in the program, and he wasn't here in spring ball, so want to make sure you don't put too much on his plate initially and let him grow into things. But he's playing good defense for us right now. Obviously, is a weapon in the return game, and so the next step in that progression is to see if he can help us on offense, and that'll happen at some point this season.